The migration crisis in general affects the southern states more than the northern states. The reason is quite simple. Many Mexicans want to get into the US illegally using the southern border. The federal government has been inactive, so Greg Abbott, governor of Texas, has decided to take the initiative. He announced that he would defend himself with National Guard forces against the migrants. The U.S. Supreme Court demanded that federal agents be allowed to go to the border with Mexico to supervise the dismantling of the fences that create obstacles for illegals. Abbott has refused to comply with the ruling. The migration crisis is just an excuse for local officials in Texas to speak out against Washington. There has long been talk in that state that it is time to secede. If it happens, Texas will become richer. At least that's what some Texans think. So they cherish the dream of their bright future, which could push the whole of America toward disintegration. And now it's time to remember what famous personalities in different countries have said about it. Vanga, Dixon, Trump, and Casey. Vanga pointed to the beginning of a deep crisis in America after the 44th President of the United States. We are talking about Barack Obama. After him, Donald Trump and Joe Biden came to power, who not only did not solve the migration issue, but also created the preconditions for a deep international crisis. Vanga emphasized that this will greatly affect the dollar. According to her, the US currency will become cheaper than wrappers, and the economic crisis can lead to the aggravation of domestic political life in the United States and the subsequent withdrawal of the southern states from the state. Trump speaks quite harshly about the current situation in the United States. He talks about Joe Biden becoming the Herbert Hoover of the modern era. This refers to the American president who led the country during the Great Depression. It was under Hoover that America suffered a lot from the economic crisis. In fact, his name has become a household name. And looking at what is happening today, the parallels between Biden and Hoover seem fair. Jeane Dixon, who has been called America's Vanga, predicted the disintegration of America by the middle of the 21st century. First, the United States will begin to lose power, ceding many positions to China. Inside the country, there will be a confrontation between those who want to leave the United States and those who want to preserve the integrity of the country. The economic crisis will aggravate the situation. Other countries will not help America, as it has repeatedly interfered in their internal affairs. Therefore, the United States will disintegrate into several states. By the way, the division will not only be on the northern and southern states. California and Texas will form, along with the surrounding regions, 2 states. The states located near the Atlantic Ocean will form their own country. The remaining regions in the center of America will declare the independence of a separate state. Edgar Casey's near future looks the bleakest. He spoke of a series of cataclysms that will lead to a change in the outlines of the American continent. The state will fail to cope with the dire situation, followed by a coup. It sounds unbelievable, but Casey's predictions have come true more than once. Skeptics will say that they do not believe the predictors. They just manipulate people, that's all. Of course, you can disbelieve in predictions, but you should not turn a blind eye to the obvious. The US is entering a deep crisis from which it may not emerge in the same form. The situation with Texas is actually a trigger for the breakup of America. If this happens, there will be at least one more state in the world. Subscribe to our channel to stay up to date with the latest prophecies and predictions.